going with a part 2. I don't know what happened to my signal. It just dropped out of the way and I couldn't connect. Anyways, I'm gonna get short and sweet with this. Ways MLB can attract younger fans. First, give them more interactivity with the game at the Coliseum or stadium where you may be. This is a little bit more pointed at the Oakland Athletics, but I've noticed that at pretty much every baseball park. Fans want autographs, they want baseballs, they want selfies, they want a lot. MLB wants a lot for a ticket price. Well, give them something in return for that besides a 9-inning game with 2 runs. You know, the kids want to see action, but if they're not going to see action, at least give them something fun. They get to see their favorite player. Cultivate that relationship between the audience and the product. So, how can you do that? Throw more balls up into the stand. A lot of during batting practice, for example, you know, there's a lot of guys who are kind of rude to the kids. Honestly, very rude to the kids. You know, they will throw balls to the same guy. If they do have, you know, they'll skip people. You know, they'll throw them to the adults. Just for them to pretty much end up on eBay. You know, same thing with autographs. You know, skip those guys. You know, if you did pay a little extra for a ticket, maybe you're behind home plate or behind the dugout. Yeah, sure, throw them a couple balls, but you know, you really want those guys in the cheap seats. That's who you really want. Those kids who are coming down from up high to get a little piece of the action. You know, they're excited about the game. Keep them excited. Keep them excited. Make it fun for them. Make the day awesome. Just throw them a ball. What does it cost you? $1? Raise ticket prices $1. I don't give a crap. You know, there's a lot of ways you can do that. If that is a problem, or if gaining access on the field is a problem, set aside a couple guys. On Tuesdays, everybody, you know, you can buy, you know, a $5 or $10 ticket, donate it to the community fund, and put some young fella up there to sign a ball, like you do at fan fests. You know, you'll have 20. The only time you really get any interaction with players these days, or at the one fan fest that you might get, we haven't had one in a couple years, or if what is really cool is if you do end up going to a spring training game, there's a little bit more access there, but access shouldn't stop at opening day. You know, it should go through the whole season. You know, we're not asking for a lot. It's a small bit of time, 15-20 minutes. So sell 100 tickets. I don't know, but limit it. Make it limited. Stop selling them to, you know, don't sell them off to a bunch of 40-year-old guys who are just trying to make money on eBay. You know, that's a problem. Open it up to kids. Let them be on the field. Just give them that little bit of extra love. And if you're going to pay a guy $30 or $40 million a year, make them be out on the field with the rest of the team. Again, the prima donna treatment of the Mike Trouts of the world and the Clayton Kershaws and stuff. You know, actually, I got to take that back, because even though Kershaw doesn't sign, and most pitchers will not sign when they're starting that day. They're doing their warm-up, they're in their zone. I get it. But they will be on the field, and they will be warming up and doing long toss and working with their catcher, playing some catch, just getting warmed up for the game. They'll do it on the field. I've seen Nolan Ryan do it. I've seen, you know, Clayton Kershaw do it. I've seen Max Scherzer do it. I've seen a lot of these guys come out and do it, but then you get these couple prima donnas who are just too good for everybody else. That's got to stop. The next thing you guys can do is, again, open up to the communities. You know, make your own tournaments for these kids. Hell, you can do some pre-scouting here. I don't know. Do a local baseball tournament for the high schools. You know, put your, you know, here, let's take a look here. I'm in Alameda, and I'm a coach. Just so we can see. Here. Just a second. Let's go out here onto the field. So, we've got all these businesses who put up their banners up on the wall. During tournaments and championship games, we have flags that sit up along the walls here. Let me tell you what. We are just a couple miles from the Coliseum, and not one of these signs says Oakland Athletics on it. Not one of these signs says San Francisco Giants on it. Like, what are we doing? I mean, and if I go to a ballpark, a field out in Oakland, and honestly, I can't find very many fields in Oakland. There aren't very many. They're in the suburbs, but there are a lot of parks. There's a lot of kids in Oakland. Where do they play ball? In Alameda here, I have a lot of kids who do come from Oakland because they don't have the programs that we have. I'm like, how does Oakland not have the same or better programs that we have? It's because there's a socioeconomic disparity between Oakland and, say, here in Alameda. I don't even live here in Alameda, but I come here because the schools and the programs are better. I just happen to have some opportunities here that maybe others don't. That sucks, and I'm gonna tell you that sucks. My kid sometimes like, hey, I'd hate to be here. I don't like it here sometimes, but I'm like, you want the alternative? Do you want to go to school? In some of these areas where you should be at school. My son's mom lives here. Long story. Anyways, another thing. Anyways, opportunities for kids. It's great that the A's, at least over here, donate some shirts and hats. That saves our league probably $5,000 a year. That's awesome, but honestly, we don't need it. Oakland needs it. The city that you're in needs it more than we need it, and we'll get by without it. The problem is, even that couple thousand isn't enough, and there should be more being done. Again, hey, charge for some autographs. Charge $5 or $10, and knowing that my kid got, whoever, whatever guy's autograph, he's happy as hell. I don't care, but I know my kid is happy, and maybe your kid is happy, and that's awesome. It's good for the game. But take that money, put it into those programs. That's what the community fund is for. Grow the game. Create opportunities for kids, not just to be a part of the game, as a fan. Be a player. Who's going to play baseball in 20 years from now? Who's going to play baseball in 50 years from now? Well, in 20 years from now, you're going to hope that it's my kid or the guy next door. And in 50 years, you're going to hope it's that guy's kid or grandkid. Baseball is becoming a worldwide sport, but it's also at the same time becoming an elitist sport. Or at this point, people don't even call it a sport. It's a game. It just depends on who you ask. But that is hurting the game. Like I said before, who do you see? When you see black players, most of them don't even speak English. They're from Cuba and Dominican Republic. We're not cultivating a relationship, in the communities. It's not a priority in high schools. There's a disconnect once you get past the Little League. Once you hit about 12 to 13 years old, all you can do really is play travel ball. Very few schools, middle schools, have any sort of sports program. And if they do, it's usually basketball and volleyball. Very little football in California, but in other states, football is huge. But baseball is always at the bottom, and that's a baseball problem, and that's an MLB problem. Not just because they're not putting money into it. Is again, these are where you're going to get your future players. That's your money maker. Where are you getting them from? So we're going to rely on Cuba and Korea and Japan for these players, or we're more worried about going international than we are keeping the game home. So that 14 to 16-year-old range, where kids are going to be most developmental, they're going to be a bunch of white kids from the burbs who have money, and that's just a fact. That's the same thing with hockey and figure skating. And if you watch part one of this, I'm saying the same thing. Baseball is becoming elitist, and I love seeing some of these new players who are kind of the Tatises of the world, who are bringing that other cultural phenomenon of baseball, with their own stamp on it. If you watch Dominican and Cuban baseball, it's very demonstrative. A lot of people call it like the WWE sort of tactics. There's a lot of collar popping and big gold chains and bat tossing and celebrations and that sort of thing. And frankly, I'm an old dude and I like to see it. I love to see it. I'm kind of bored of the old Madison Bumgarners of the world who are so upset that anybody's demonstrative while he's being demonstrative. Don't celebrate on me, or I'll beat you up, or I'll hit you with the ball next time. Yeah, it's cool, I guess, but at the same time, he's also being demonstrative. So, but then you also have the guys who just super stoic. I know a lot of baseball guys stoic. They're boring. You're not selling the game. Mike Trout, baddest dude in the game, supposedly, is the boringest dude in the game. So boring. Milquetoast. Just no personality. And cultivate those players. Give them the personality. You'll get the kids. You'll sell a t-shirt. WWE it up. Vince McMahon got it up. See how he would grow. Dana White did it. Baseball should do it. I don't mean that's for real. I mean, I say that semi-jokingly, but it's that kind of idea, because that is exactly what happened. Dana White said, hey, how do I grow my UFC brand to a struggling little company with guys fighting for $500 to a multi-billion-dollar pay-per-view force? Because he went to Vince McMahon and said, hey, how do I grow this? He went to Tony Khan and said, hey, how do I grow this? How do I get fans involved? How do I make money? And that's what they're doing. This is pro sports, but it trickles down. It really does trickle down to the local community. But yeah, you've got to make this game more available to fans, and you don't do that by taking out the human element with robot umpires and replays. You don't do that by shortening the game. You don't do that by dumbing down the game. You don't do that by experimenting with baseballs mid-season. You don't do that by mixing up dead balls and extra live juicy balls. However you want to do it, you don't take away all that and then expect fans to be excited. You don't put up nets to keep the fans away and expect them to be excited. It's just the way it works. And you would think that these billionaires would understand a little bit of business, but they just don't. That's all I do. That's my business, is ideas and coming up with ways to try and make my business better. How do I advertise? How do I attract people? How do I do these things? And there are a lot of things I know that I need to do, and I work on doing them. I don't go, I need to do that, but I'm not going to. that's a stupid idea, and I'll be broke very soon if I did that. So keeping that in mind, baseball has a problem, and baseball is the problem, but not the game itself. It's the way that they market the game. Keeping this short, I hope Rob Manfred and the John Fishers and Dave Cavals of the world see these and maybe take it to heart, because I've tried to tell them through tweets and emails and even in-person conversations, and it falls on deaf ears. They're their own problem. Keep your hands off the kids. Stop yelling at them. Let them come out and try and get an autograph. They're not bothering anybody. In days where there's nobody at the fans, invite the fans to come down from the top down to the bottom. There's little things you can do to really market this game, and they really do everything they can to shoot themselves in the foot, and it's really disappointing. And it's disappointing to me as a fan, my whole life. It's even more disappointing to the people that you guys are trying to market your business to, and get them engaged with when you aren't engaged yourself. Anyways, this is Richard HaicK, City62. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.